Somalia, in the country where Al-Shabaab comes from, but also a kind of jihadist ideal as well. I mean, which do you think plays out, and which is more significant in your mind?
I don't know what this term jihadist ideal means, or the words Islamist and stuff like that. To me, they're just propaganda words. But I'll speak plainly and in English, and hopefully cut through that. Look, even Al-Qaeda was a creation, and if you read Bin Laden's statements, they're all over the web. You don't have to look far. If you read the head of the CIA Bin Laden unit, Michael Schuer's book, the Road to Hell, it's well documented that they were a creation that said, we don't like the fact what you're doing in Palestine. We don't like your troops in Saudi Arabia. We don't want to be killed, bombed, and occupied. So, in other words, even they are a creation of foreign policy. When you go and invade countries, then an extreme reaction occurs because it's an extreme act. Yeah, and so these groups emerge that are highly extreme and have a violent agenda because they're living in a violent world. So they're not an aberration in society. If you look throughout history, and this is the kind of weird thing about the way it's kind of portrayed in Western media, they make it out as if they're aliens. They're green men. They're weirdos or maniacs. No, if you look at black slavery, blacks took to violence. If you look at women right here in the UK, British women, they tried to blow up Parliament. Why? Because they felt that they were oppressed or whatever. So Muslims being killed right around the world, they also feel they're oppressed, rightly so. And some of these people in an extreme situation are going to take extreme action. Al-Qaeda is just is an example of that. And so Somalia, if you go back, the Americans destroyed that country from head to tail. They backed the warlords that completely destroyed the country. Then after that, when the Islamic Courts Union, which was the only indigenous movement that was kind of moderate movement, they came and took over and defeated the warlords, the CIA backed the Ethiopians to go in, again destroying the country. Off the back of that, Al-Shabaab and Al-Qaeda grew. So American foreign policy screwed the region up, and now it's the Muslims' fault.
But that's American foreign policy. I mean, and certainly Al-Shabaab, as I mentioned, they as much want Kenyan troops out of their country because Kenya have sent troops in, and there's a strong presence of Kenyan troops as well as troops from neighboring countries like Burundi and Ethiopia. So it's not necessarily just the United States or the West.
No. Kenya has been a part and parcel and paid very handsomely for being part of this war on terror, just like Pakistan has. Pakistan didn't enter the war of terror because they liked it. They got paid $3 billion a year for it. I don't know how much Kenya got paid, but these African states, as well as all of these kind of poor third world countries, they get paid very handsomely by America to play their part, and they do it brutally. Kenya not only tortures and rapes Somalians who they feel are part of Al-Shabaab, and even those who are just refugees in their own country, but as you know, has entered Somalia as an occupying force due to the war of terror, America being the principal backer of that.
But you seem to be saying that the root of all this is American backing for these countries rather than what is actually a territorial fight and a more broader struggle. I mean, Al-Qaeda, for instance, is, okay, I take the point that you're saying that the situation in Palestine is something that Al-Qaeda obviously is fighting against, but this happened in a shopping mall in Nairobi. What's that got to do with drone attacks in Pakistan?
Everything, because America...
Wouldn't they have stated that, though, that was the reason why they did it?
Well, they did. Read the Al Jazeera report. They say that you've entered our lands, and so until you get out of our lands, we're going to attack you. Simple as that. And they're not being shy about saying that they're linked with Al-Qaeda either. Al-Qaeda's aims are well known, well publicised right around the world. So everyone knows if you are informed in this and you're not misinformed by Western media or people like your guest who may come on, Robert Spencer, who have to justify to their public why this is occurring, and they have to justify it. So what they say is it's Islam. It's not us. It's not because we're slaughtering millions of people around the world. It's only because they're weird, evil people, and that justifies this hatred and then justifies their wars off the back of it.